You're listening to In the Lead, the podcast for real estate pros looking to grow their business. Whether you're new to the business or a seasoned pro, we come to you each week with the latest technology and online strategies to help you sell more, work less, and make a difference in your community through your real estate business. This show is brought to you by EasyAgentPro, creators of Lead Sites, the ultimate lead generation website for agents. For show notes and links, check out EasyAgentPro/podcast. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, EAPers. You are listening to the In the Lead podcast. I am back. Chris McHale is back in the house. I did not get fired, no sunburns, and we have a special episode with Robert. He wants to talk about green homes the entire day, so that's what we're going to make happen.
Not quite. Don't listen.
Just kidding. We've got some really good Beat Zillow questions that we want to answer. Robert had his handy-dandy notebook prepped and ready for answers, so we're pretty excited about that. How are you doing today, Robert?
Hey guys, doing good. Excited to be here. I'm glad everyone's back. We got a full crew today.
Yeah, it was kind of lonesome. I'll admit it. I that Thursday I missed doing the podcast with you guys. I missed it a lot.
We miss you too, dude.
Yeah, I was just kidding. I was on a beach in Puerto Rico.
Yeah, let's be real here. Tell them the truth.
I know, right? We also have Mr. Late to the party, Alec. How you doing today?
I'm doing excellent.
How was lunch? Was lunch delicious? What'd you have?
It was delicious. I had a big old bowl of yogurt and peanut butter mixed together. That sounds weird, but it is
weird. That's really weird.
It's actually really, really good.
Got that
With
protein?
Yeah, that's it, man.
Yogurt and peanut butter. I'll have to try it. That's interesting. Kelvin's face.
You got to mix it up real good, otherwise you get
like
a big old chunk of peanut butter. Yeah.
If you could see Kelvin's face right now, I think he just kind of threw up in his mouth a little bit.
No, I'll give it a shot. I'm open to new things, man. That sounds protein packed.
Kelvin's on that protein train too.
The trick is to not do like key lime pie yogurt. You got to do like vanilla with peanut butter.
Better than like protein powder and oatmeal. Have you ever done that?
Yeah, exactly.
See, man, and I love peanut butter. That sounds like sacrilegious to me. Like,
have you seen those paleo pancakes where it's bananas and almond butter and that's it? You just mash it all up and then fry it up on a pan. They're delicious.
For sure. I actually
had those. Yeah, they're actually good. Yeah,
I know they're delicious, right?
Starbucks started doing paleo bites too. Did you guys see those?
No. I did see that.
For all you low carbers, high proteins out there. You get an
EAP.
omelet bite now with a little bacon on it. It's pretty good. Sous vide.
the sous vide. Yeah, those are good.
We are full of great things for you. Not only can you generate leads, capture leads, and convert them to sales, but we can also make sure you have a happy, healthy diet and look the best you can as a real estate agent.
It's kind of important.
It is very important. Speaking of looking good, we've got our GQ model. Even though we're not endorsed by GQ, we've made it clear several times. How you doing, Kelvin?
I'm doing good, buddy. How you doing?
Doing good. Any photo shoots? Any spring fashion advice?
Not lately. Yeah, it's we're hitting spring now, so bright, bold colors are coming back. Floral prints are still going to be in.
I'm glad. Thank you for actually having it ready this time.
You're welcome. I was prepped.
He didn't even deny it this time. He's like, yeah.
No,
so,
this time I was like, I do. I know exactly what's in, man.
It's almost Labor Day, so.
Speaking of, isn't it white? White before Labor Day is like a never don't do it or something. Speaking of bold colors, Calvin, you need to change out that background butcher paper.
I'm not going to do it.
Red. I'm sick of it.
I'm not going to do it.
Fine. Timbers play this weekend. If they win, you're changing it out. Period.
To what, green? I'll do
green. Yeah, there you go. All right.
I could do that.
Now that we got that out of the way, I'm sure you guys have all signed off and stopped listening. We can move right along into the In the Lead podcast. We'll start talking about some Beat Zillow questions. Mr. Gabriel sent us a fantastic question that I want Robert to answer, even though he did not have a notebook, a chapter written about it. He asked, so little advice, guys. I'm setting up an Instafarm page for one-story homes, but I'm having trouble coming up with 600 words for the SEO. I'm planning on running the Facebook ad on it the way Karen Carr did. So my question is, is it really necessary to fill out the 600 words on it if I'm only doing it for the Facebook ad? Robert, go ahead and take it away, my friend.
Okay. Well, let's start with the first thing, creating 600 words of unique content. So if you figure, the average sentence is about 20 words. So you basically need 6 paragraphs, 5 sentences each. And I thought I'd just throw together some topics. So I think like on it, when you're writing an Instafarm, it shouldn't be that hard to provide, 30 sentences about a neighborhood if you're actually going to try to sell business there and you actually are an expert. So I think an easy way to approach it is just to write a 5-sentence intro, write 5 sentences about what there is to do there, 5 sentences about restaurants, 5 sentences about schools, 5 sentences about parks and things to do outdoors, and then maybe about 5 sentences about why you like this hood and how people can kind of get in contact with you. That should be a quick, easy formula for you to knock out 600 words, because even though you are going to run ads to it, especially if you're going to send traffic, it'll be a great social SEO indicator if you actually have content on there and you're feeding it traffic. So that's my 2 cents for just creating unique content. I think it's really important, and you should just that would take you, that should take 1 hour to write or less. So just start doing those and do it small, and you don't have to do all of them at once. And then once a week, just add 600 words, and I think that'll pay off long term and give you some good dividends. But as far as your question about the ad and do you really need to have a full Instafarm page? Absolutely not. You can send people, they're going to your landing page, you're creating trust on the landing page, and you're getting the lead action right there. So what you send next plays less of a role in, conversion. You don't have to worry about stuff like that. But I will say, if you're promising something on the landing page and you don't deliver the goods, when they redirect, they're going to be angry, and that's going to hurt your conversion. So I think I always believe value first. So like if someone's going to opt in, and people are doing this more and more these days, they're sharing their information online, and they want to know that, they view it as they're paying you for something. And they're like, man, I just gave this guy my email address. I hope this is good. So if they get there and it's terrible, and it's just like, man, I just got scammed, like instantly off your site. But I think if you can get them there and then it's like, holy cow, this is a great 600 words, it has everything I ever wanted to know about this area and these single story homes, then I think it could be good. But single story homes, there's not a whole lot to say about it. So you probably do a little less verbiage on there. And I think as long as you deliver the homes in a clickable format, it should be fine. What do you guys think about that?
I think. Go ahead, Kelvin. My apologies. I didn't mean to.
No, you're good, man. I was just gonna say I completely agree. I think if for the specific nature of in the context of what you're doing here, I don't think it's necessary to really focus on SEO right away. Just focus on making sure there's enough information when somebody gets to that page, like Robert said. But I completely agree.
I wholeheartedly agree too with single story homes. Just a quick little snippet of the pros of a single story home. Easier to navigate, easier to clean. Easier to do laundry, anything you can think of like that, that's perfectly fine. In regards to his, who, what, when, where, why, and how about just a standard Instafarm page, another thing that you can, jot down too is if it's a historical area. That's something that's really big. A lot of history is involved. Usually the houses are worth a lot more and they're a lot more sought after. So that's
there you go, and you can craft kind of a story behind it, and what you can explain why they are more expensive and why it's such a a great area to live in and a vibing, thriving community.
Exactly. So yeah, no, I wholeheartedly agree about the single story thing. The SEO is not necessarily. I mean, it is going to benefit you if you do find out a way to do it, and if you do figure out something that we haven't said, definitely let us know because we'd be curious about how you kind of sold people on single story homes. But if like we said, clickable format. I like the sound of that. Nice and easy to navigate, and you're good to go. What about you, Alec?
Yeah, I saw an example of a guy who was targeting this demographic pretty. He was really, really focusing on it. And one of the things that he did is he put together like a guide that was specifically to people, I think, over 60, and it gave them all kinds of tips about not just the benefits of downsizing, like save money on heating or whatever, but he actually gave them like step-by-step guides for here's how you can declutter your life and prepare to downsize. And then he connected that later to single story homes.
There you go, getting zen. I like that. That's a good one too.
Yeah.
That's
so
great.
If you really want to focus in on that market, I think there's a whole. I think you can really, really dig into that and find a lot of great angles there.
Absolutely.
And that's just the opposite side, right? Adding immense value when they actually do click the landing page and they actually do opt in. They get to the end and you have all these guides, all this great stuff. But I'd also you shouldn't make that a roadblock, right? You shouldn't, if that's your excuse to why you're not going to do this campaign, then you shouldn't do it. You should just set up the ad in the landing page and do a redirect and see if you can get people to opt in first. If they're not going to opt into your landing page, it doesn't matter what's on the other end.
Right. And then
that's a great point. And then if it does work out for you, then you can focus a little bit more and develop more things down the road. But start by seeing if it works for you in the first place.
Well, and that's the thing, that's perfect. A perfect example is Karen Carr, right? She probably didn't do 600 words on it or something. She just had this.
I don't think she had any words, if I remember right. She just did it, validate it. Right. Can you get people to put their information in? Is this offer good? That's really step one. And then you can sweeten the deal after you start getting people to click.
Right.
Have a successful ad. Because there's you have to set up your ad, you have to set up the landing page, you have to do your targeting. So just focus on that stuff first.
Right.
Yeah, it's a progression, right? So it's like if the ad isn't performing really well, then you need to start there, readjust the ad, get the clicks higher. Once that's doing well, if people aren't converting, your landing page isn't doing well, so then you got to adjust the landing page. So it's just a thought process. It's just
Exactly. And then if they're
moving, a
converting
progression.
and like, hey, you scammed me, then you should probably
Yeah, you didn't provide enough information. You didn't do a
so
good
you should
job.
probably sweeten the deal a little bit.
Absolutely.
But I love what you said, Alec, about adding build-up guides for that, because you get to that thing,
Yeah.
and that's just relevant content. That's just you being a smart marketer. They get
Well,
there.
in this particular example, this gentleman, I believe, he had slowly over time scaled it up to the point where he was even doing seminars, and he was getting dozens of folks over 60 into a room and like teaching them how to declutter and all these other things, and then that pipeline would later lead down. So it was a cool system. So
That's brilliant.
And guys, he's like putting just a little bit more effort to be like to make himself valuable. He's giving a free course or a free webinar, and it's just like that's marketing 101. You just have to make it super valuable, and then it's very clear who they should work with. This guy that gave me nothing, or this guy that took time to explain all this to me, and and went through. You just
answer every question you hadn't even thought of yet, probably. Yeah.
Yep,
Right,
exactly.
and don't just focus in on single-story homes with this type of idea of just getting the content out there and then slowly building it up or working it out. You can do that across the board on your site. I've seen people even do stuff like that with. They'd run like a decent advertisement on like, here's a guide on what you need to do to be pre-approved for a home, and then it would redirect to like this little link that was underneath the buyer's guide, the buyer section tab that just had a list of all the beneficial information, all the legality paperwork, all what you should do for your loan approval, stuff like that. And it was just this long, I hate to say it, but tedious process that they took time to just show like, hey, not only are we going to sell you the home, not only are we going to get you all set up, but we're going to make sure that we do it right from the get-go for you guys. So you build up that knowledge base, and people are just going to really appreciate it, and it's going to work out for you in the long run. I can guarantee you that he probably didn't do a seminar off the bat. Maybe it was something super simple like a list, and then he worked his way up from that as well. So
I like what you said about it sounding tedious, and if you lay out that whole thing like right up front, it sounds super tedious. But if you start small and you're making money and you're getting leads, it's not tedious to do more stuff that makes more money and gets more leads. But you got to start small and then work your way up.
Yeah.
Exactly. Cool. Well, that was a fantastic question. Thank you so much. We really appreciate it. That was a pretty good one. Gabriel kind of threw Robert for a loop, but he still did have his questions and his answers filled out in his little book of knowledge. Maybe we'll
I
post
come
that.
prepared.
We'll post it in an ebook.
Lesson 1: just be prepared for success.
The next one we're gonna throw Alec for a loop as well. Mr. Rakan sent a really good question. He goes, "What's your follow-up process and best way to convert someone that filled out a home valuation request but only got so far as their email and address?" This happens a lot to me, and to be honest, what I've noticed is it happens to a lot of people. And people want an automated valuation rather than having to talk to anybody, which is understandable. So, Alec, I'm sure you really might not have ran into this enough, but I'm curious if you have any your 2 cents in it. Robert's chomping at the bit. I can feel it.
Oh,
He's so pumped for it.
There was a couple things that jumped right out to me, and this is what we tell people in coaching and orientation and office hours all the time, is to make contact immediately, have some kind of automated thing that's set up that says, hey, I'm working on that free home valuation right now, because making contact right away can increase your chances of converting that person later really, really dramatically. And then the other thing I would say is if that's clear that that's what they want, just give it to them. And I think you can follow up with an email that says, hey, we don't give an automated. I think you can use it as a selling opportunity and a benefit positioning thing, to where you're saying we don't do an automated valuation and here's why. Those tend to be really inaccurate, et cetera, and I'm taking the time to handcraft your evaluation to make sure it's up to date, to make sure it's a realistic evaluation that you can work with going forward, and then kind of see where it goes. Maybe ask some open-ended questions. Are you looking to move soon? See if you can make some open-ended questions to start a conversation, and then if you hear nothing back, have a plan after that to drop them into some kind of a drip system that offers home selling style content, the 5 tips you need to know before you sell your home, that kind of thing. Have an automated system that you can plop them into if they don't respond to you.
So there's something too Alex said I would love to touch on, because we talked to a lot of people about this, and everyone wants to know why we don't provide a solution for an immediate CMA being transferred over. And I always looked at it as you're forcing contact. You're forcing someone to get in touch with you by by having them leave their information and then you following up. So you're just forcing that contact. So I think that's better. And then also, like what Alex said, even if they didn't give the address like what the question asked here, you've still got an email, you've still got someone you can add into your ecosystem, and you can reach out and touch them over and over until they become a more valuable and motivated lead. But I just wanted to say something on why I think it is a good idea to be forcing that follow-up with the home valuation page the way it's set up as opposed to offering up an automated and immediate CMA.
Yeah, so someone goes into your home value landing page and they fill out their email and address, which is why we do the two-step. For those of you who don't know, on lead sites, our home value tool it'll collect if they just fill out their email and address, and then it starts the search. So we get to keep the email too. So it's kind of good. You still got a half lead on someone that was probably not going to opt into your landing page to begin with. So they're kind of a less... I don't know what's the word, but less invested lead, and they're not 100% certain. They're like, how did I even get to this site? Now I'm filling out my information, and oh man, I'm out of here. So they got worried and left, but that's okay. So you basically have to figure out a way to deal with people that are abandoners like that, or low quality leads, and then high quality leads. So you should have kind of systems built in for that. But touching on what Alec and Kelvin were talking about, it's it's as simple as you having, it's the way you pitch it. So if you say, hey man, I'm trying to run this, but I didn't get enough details. The whole point of it is to give you something to call about. That's you talking about something besides an introduction to yourself. It's like, hey, this is Robert. I'm your agent. I'm about to run your CMA. I'll have that done today, but I actually need a few more questions from you. So that's why we actually even limit the form fields on there, because you should have something to go talk to them about. That's good. No one has a problem getting something for free and providing a little more information. So it lets you set up your first initial call. You get to call them providing value instead of just saying, hey, this is Bob. I'm an agent. Are you interested in selling? Oh, okay. You actually have something to actually talk about and say, hey, I'm going to do this for you. Quick question. Do you have carpets or tiles? Quick question. Do you have, are they 3 big rooms or are they kind of smaller rooms? But you can just start talking to them about their property, and that's how you get them to open up. And through that, you look responsible. You look pretty trustworthy. You look on your game. You get to talk about why Zillow's estimates are bad and why automated stuff is just BS, and how you're going to go do it. And you have so much experience and you have access to data that they don't, and you're going to provide it for them. That's like a hookup. It's really not even you're trying to, it's changing the frame of how you approach them. And then just adding value onto that. If you're going to have a drip system and someone isn't going to respond to that first, because you could just set that as the first email. Hey, I just have a few questions. When's a good time to schedule a call? And then you basically should have a 3, 6, 12 month follow up where maybe you send some guides. Maybe you still send some still interested, need a home value, and you can keep reaching out to them about the thing. And it's automated. So that's a low quality lead that you just don't even have to think about. And every once in a while, they'll turn out of the bush and become a real, a sale and commission for you.
Right. No, that's really well said, and I think we answered that one pretty decently. The one thing, I feel like with that type of thing, with the automation and stuff, just try and make it as personal as possible with the text message notification system, and hopefully eventually they'll give you their phone number, or there'll be a way to actually talk voice to voice with this individual. But Robert's 100% right. These individuals are semi-warm leads at best. They're kind of I feel like they're just dipping their toe into the idea and seeing what their house is worth, and then hopefully down the line they'll choose you as their agent, since you are giving them that custom, accurate evaluation.
And you got to overcompensate, because they went to your site and got scared away, so you spooked them, which is okay. It doesn't mean you're never going to get them, but just go from that. Okay, I spooked someone. What's the best way to get them back and maybe get their phone number? Right. So that would have to be sending them some juicy goods that they actually respond to and they like. So I would just try to hit them with value and blow their mind. And then how many other agents are just saying, "Are you still thinking about selling?" 6 months later, "Are you still thinking about selling? It's a great market. Are you still thinking about selling?" And they just keep saying that. And it's that's me, not you.
Right. Absolutely. No, that was fantastic. Really well said, guys. I was pretty good. Pretty impressed. Man, I missed you guys. A whole week off.
In the zone.
In the zone. We have one last question today. Miss Corey sent us a pretty decent one. Kelvin was super stoked for this one. He was ready to answer it right away. She says, "Hi, everyone. So I have a question, and I'm hoping someone can help me. I'm busy with my blog, and I'll be honest, I subscribe to a company that provides me with great blog articles each day. I also use the ones that EAP provides. I write a few of my own, and I'm working on a blog post just like Dustin did with the top reasons to live in my town. I'm struggling. I'm trying to figure out how to get people to read my blog posts. Can anyone help me? I wonder if there was a way for people to subscribe that would be more useful. Please keep in mind that I'm in New Jersey and the market is saturated with realtors. 12,000 in her county alone. I need to stand out, but for now I can't get anyone to read my blogs. Please help. Thank you." Kelvin, take it away.
So this question prompted Melanie and I to collaborate on a pretty in-depth EasyAgentPro Help Center article. So we've got that when it comes to setting up a good system for getting people to subscribe to your blog. So I'll give that to Chris. He can add that link in the show notes. You guys can check that out. But the first thing I want to talk about is basically having a system in place for dispersing your content as wide as possible and as effectively as possible. So what I said to Corey in Beat Zillow, I gave her the 4 things that we actually do with our blog content. So the first thing is we're optimizing it for SEO. That's long-term focus. The second thing we're doing is we're sending it out via email. Robert's the main man when it comes to getting all of our content sent out via email. For our newsletter. The third thing we're doing is we're posting our blogs to Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. And then the fourth thing you could be doing is recapturing that blog info into a video that you're putting up on YouTube or wherever, and then directing people back to the full blog post. So there's different ways that you can go about dispersing your content through different channels. And it's all about how wide of a net you can actually cast with that.
Let me ask you this: Is there a way to not easily, but maybe streamline the process? Because what I'm getting from it is like, okay, cool, you have this wonderful blog content, but you need an army to get it sent out to all these different areas and these different places.
Not necessarily an army. I'd say it might sound that way, but there's definitely services and systems in place like IFTTT, for example. You can have different systems built to where everything's automated. I personally think it's worth taking the time. I know whenever a blog goes live, I personally take the blog itself and I share it out via Twitter. I send it out on Facebook and I customize the post. And I think that's all worth it. If you don't have time for it, though, there are different systems that you can utilize to automate the entirety of that.
Right.
And we can definitely put some more information into a help article for something that would go into more detail on that. But that's definitely possible.
Yeah.
What do you guys?
I agree with you wholeheartedly. I think the more areas you can get your blog article shared, and the more ways you can recycle and repurpose that really good content, like you said, put it in a video. That's huge. That'll they may not be reading your blog, but at least they're seeing you. You're getting brand recognition, and hopefully they'll connect with you because they can match a face with the name. So I like what you're saying. I totally agree with you wholeheartedly with it. Get it out on every single channel you possibly can.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so it's just about connecting it to all the different channels you have available at your disposal. What do you think, Robert?
And is it worth, Kelvin? Is it worth boosting those pieces, putting $5 or $10 or something behind those things just to get a little bit more exposure for those, where you're not trying to generate a lead, but you're just trying to get exposure to a piece of content?
I think it really depends. Whenever you have money that you're ready to put into Facebook, I think it's more worthwhile to put it into an ad campaign. Boosted posts are way cheaper to use. If you don't have a significant budget, you can consider using boosted posts and keep it really local and targeted. You still have a lot of targeting flexibility with your boosted posts, and it's going to be cheaper than an ad campaign. So if you've got a piece of content that's good for a certain time frame or a certain part of the season, something really local, boost it. Why not? You can target local. It's not going to cost you very much. But a majority of the budget that you would want to be spending on Facebook, I would devote to an ad campaign.
To actually get leads and not just
yeah, absolutely. Sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead. No. Go. Finish. I'm sorry.
You're good. Just because there's such a wealth of diversity when it comes to getting your content out organically and getting people back organically that when money's involved, I don't think it's worthwhile putting it just into boosting content. Sorry. Okay. So that was all I was going to say. Go ahead.
No, that's perfect. Robert, go ahead.
So I would say, okay, let's start like this. So what was the last movie you saw, and why did you choose to see it? Chances are it was one of the top 10 movies released this year, and you saw it because it was good, it was well reviewed, and it was actually a great movie. So let's use like movies as an example. I'm going to use your same sentence. Please keep in mind I'm in the US market and it's saturated with movies. So there's a ton of movies out there. Okay, so these guys, you have to stand out, and I want you to take a good hard look at your content and say, is this better than the 12,000 agents who are around me in New Jersey? Is this article that I wrote really is it really better? Because it's just, you can't blame the market. That means you have to produce better content. If you were out in the middle of Montana, you'd have less competition. You'd probably rank better, but you also have less people go into your article. So it's you against these other 12,000 people around you, and you need to take a good hard look and say, is my content really better? And the easiest way to do this, I think, is to find what's already working. So check out buzzsumo.com, buzzsumo.com. And these guys let you figure out what are the most shared social articles online. So I did a few searches. I typed in New Jersey homes. I typed in real estate New Jersey houses. Let me read you some of these articles that got just crazy shares. So we have here, this one is... you probably know her, Sharon Steele Real Estate. You may have seen her in Google results or something. This lady has 1.7K shares on Facebook of an article called Grilled Cheese Shop Opening in Westfield, New Jersey, Cranford and Westfield. So she wrote about grilled cheese. This other article, she's like literally dominating on BuzzSumo. Cranford third grader is headed to the White House. She literally wrote about a third grader going to the White House, local content, valuable stuff people want to see. So if you go on BuzzSumo, here's just one more. The Ultimate New Jersey Beach Guide, Summer 2016, New Jersey Real Estate Blog. That was from Remax, New Jersey. So that one had 200 plus shares. So when you go and find a good topic that's already winning, it's a lot easier to rewrite it and make it better. So this is what I suggest you do, is go find one of those that you think you could make better, because you have to beat this one. This one's your competition. So you have to make it better. And we call that the 3-up technique. You use better images, you write more words and make it better content, and you can add your personal spin on it, and then you promote it harder. So, and then that's basically the guide to standing out. You really have to it doesn't always have to be exactly about why, the real estate market and what's happening. It's just fun real estate stuff that people would actually click on. So you can find a proven idea. You can actually rewrite that. You make it better. And you can look at that piece and just do one a week. Literally just try this week to just write the best article you've ever written and compare it to the one you're copying. And literally you'll know instantly when you look at them if it actually is better. And then, so what that does, it allows you to share something that's proven. You didn't waste time writing a content that no one wants to read.
Well, that's the thing, right? Is make it sound and look as sexy as possible. That's what you always say, and you always instill in every single one of us when Alec or Kelvin or Paula writes a blog.
It's not sexy enough.
Is this sexy? Yeah.
Yeah.
Right? So
right. I'm like a broken record. I literally just is this better than so what value does this provide? That's always my first question, right? What's the point of this? Why would someone read this? And it's easier to tell when you're doing 3-up and you kind of find a grilled cheese article that you're going to write about. But then, and then the second part is, so that's standing out. And then the second part is really how you get traffic. And that's Kelvin's answer. You have to figure out how much traffic do you want? Are you trying to get 1,000 hits? So let's take that. So 1,000 hits, say you can probably get 50 hits per group. So that would mean you have to hit 20 groups. So blogging isn't without work. It's not write some stuff and forget it. The other half of the situation of the equation is posting it everywhere you possibly can. And that's Pinterest groups, Facebook groups, LinkedIn if you're on there. But find 20 groups that you repeatedly post in and offer them value and become an interactor in, someone who provides and makes the group better. And then you slowly start getting that traffic. And that's pretty much a proven point. That's how we do it. We send a bunch of traffic we used to, post in every real estate group there was. And you'll get kicked out of some, it's usually about your approach. If you don't approach with value first and you're like, hey, I wrote this great article, can you give me a like or a share? That's the wrong thing. It's guys, did you hear about this grilled cheese shop? Who in New Jersey doesn't want to read that if that's in your neighborhood? You kind of it's just a winner. I think that's a good formula for picking wins and not wasting time.
Absolutely. Anybody else want to chime in with some last minute comments or anything?
No, I love that. That BuzzSumo is such a good resource for being able to know what's popular and then just get in front of it. Just jump on that train that's already moving. Yeah.
There's no shame in rewriting someone else's article. It's not plagiarism. It's not copying. Like, they're literally all writing about the same thing, and you can write about it too. And ideally, if you want to have it be read over theirs, it should be better. So it's pretty, like, that's pretty. I mean, that's pretty.
Well,
pretty much it.
Like my past experience, I mean, and Kelvin can attest to this too. Before I did this, like my blogging experience was a music blog, and I would literally find some artist or some musician, right? Talk about a saturated market. There's millions of people who think they're musicians.
Exactly. Right? Everywhere's saturated.
Yeah.
That's how you make money. That's
yeah. I would find this specific artist. I'd send it over to Kelvin and say, hey, dude, do you think that this is a fly song? Do you think it's really good? Do you like it? Super great music. Dude's got a ton of followers on SoundCloud. And all I did was send him a message. Hey, can we use you? Can we write an article about you? Can I interview you? Can I do something? And the worst that they can say is no. So even when you're doing, and then that's it. They lost out on some free advertising. And you can move on to better, bigger, and brighter things.
And you don't have to ask to write about a business, though.
Right, like, exactly. That's the thing, is you don't have to worry about plagiarism. You don't have to worry about any of that. And think about what you're writing. Think about, and my big thing that I can really pressure out right now is, like, is it sexy enough, right? I would much rather read something about a grilled cheese shop that's going to be close to the house that I want to purchase versus a guide on how to be pre-approved for a first-time home buyer.
Or new market trends in spring 2017. Do you want to click that? No. Yeah. You like grilled cheese. It makes you feel warm and fuzzy inside.
Yeah. I want to know, why the New York Red Bulls are doing well. I want to know why, that type of stuff. Whatever is relevant in that area, whatever is culturally relevant and popular, write about it. That's something that'll really, it should work. It's, the sumo thing is showing proven that it does. Yeah, exactly. So,
just this last one, 7.2K shares on look inside this New Jersey tiny home. How much more fun of an article would that be to write?
It doesn't even have to relate to blog content. Look at Chase Binney and his lead campaign that he ran for the Squeeze page about the top 10 Christmas light displays in Minnesota. It wasn't even related to houses. It was related to Christmas lights that was relevant to the time period, which was December, and he generated 100 leads that month off of that one Squeeze page campaign. Granted, some of them, I'm sure a large portion of them were very cold leads, but he generated them nonetheless. So, is it sexy? Would you read it? Number one, right? And then number two is how can I reuse the content?
It's like, I think as a writer and content creator, sometimes you fall into the trap of creating content that you like, talking about stuff you like and stuff very comfortably, and it makes it easy to get a post out, but it's not necessarily what you just got to be thinking about. What do they like? What do all these random people on Facebook that are in my New Jersey Facebook group really care about? And chances are it's grilled cheese, tiny homes. It's like you can kind of look at these and just see exactly what they respond to, and then what's cool is over time you start honing your ability to be able to decide whether or not something's going to be good from the get-go. You can kind of have a good idea, and this is a lot like that one post I did that did pretty well, and then you just keep iterating on it.
Grilled cheese, tiny homes, and crap talking about New York. That's what
just to sum it up, right, Robert? It's quality, added value, sexy. And stop blaming the market. The market's always going to be saturated. Don't give control to external things. Focus on the quality of it.
Just make good stuff that is proven, and you will have success.
Boom. There you go. Mic drop. This was a fantastic podcast. I'm super stoked. We got tons of great content, tons of fantastic questions. Really, really glad to be back in the holding the reins of the podcast again, and hopefully next week we get some more good questions in. Podcast will be posted on Monday in the Beat Zillow group. We will also be posting it on Podbean. Where else? That's about it, right? On our website, and that's it. If you do have any questions for the podcast, feel free to send us in a message at support@EasyAgentPro.com. Send us a tweet at I love saying that word.
Yeah.
Send us a tweet. Let us know. Give crap to Tyler because he wasn't here. It was really unfortunate. Also, I'm trying to think of some other things. Where else can they hear? They can talk to us and send us some questions. You guys know?
Anywhere. YouTube, Twitter, Instagram,
YouTube.
Comment.
We have it.
We're everywhere.
YouTube, everywhere.
We're all over the place.
Google Easy Agent Pro. Send us a message if you have any questions or want to comment or even want to join in with us and chat on the podcast. Let us know. We'll be happy to talk to you guys and have you sit in with us and give us your 2 cents about why grilled cheese is awesome. With that said, thank you so much, guys. Thank you, Kelvin, Alec, and Robert, for sitting in with me, dealing with my crap. Unfortunately, we didn't get to the green homes, which I'm a little disappointed about. Maybe,
They're still green.
maybe next
We talked
time.
about tiny homes. So
We did
that's-
talk about tiny homes.
It's like a consolation.
We brought in
prize,
tiny
yeah.
homes and some marketing knowledge. So
Don't forget, floral ties are in. I wore one to our meeting, and everybody commented on it. That's my spring tip. And that is it.
pink, light green, do it.
Pink, light green, and red. Those are the spring fling colors right now. Thank you, Kelvin. Thank you, Robert. And thank you, Tyler. And we will see you guys next week.
Hey, what about
Later,
Alec?
guys.
Oh, Alec, I'm sorry.
Later, guys.
I think Tyler didn't even exist. He's not even here. Sorry, Alec. I'm sorry I didn't leave to mean. Dude, you probably hate me now. I'm sure he hates me. You guys have a fantastic day.
See you guys.
Later.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to In the Lead. If you have enjoyed the show, be sure to subscribe on iTunes or Stitcher and leave us an honest review. For more great content, check out our blog at EasyAgentPro.com. And as always, we'll see you later.